Well, hello, I'm Nathan Judo. I'm delighted to be joined by Mr. Joe Edwards at Stamford Bridge. Joe, Chelsea 0, Wolves 0. Look, not a classic. I don't think anyone's going to re-watch that tonight. However, that could be a really important point going forward.
It definitely could be, yeah, really could. And any neutral watching will tell you it was a rubbish game, but Wolves will take that all day long. They've stopped the right at the back, which is crucial. They've gone 12 games, of course, without a clean sheet. We all knew that, but this was far more typical of a team under Nuno, of Wolves under Nuno. They were committed in the air, they put their bodies on the line, and ultimately they kept that clean sheet. I think that can be a big confidence booster going forward. I mean, of course, you know, you want to see more going forward, although they did have probably the best chance of the game, to be honest, in the end, with Neto clipping the crossbar. But hopefully that will come at Palace. But I think the big thing was getting that clean sheet, getting that weight off their shoulders, if you like, in the Premier League, and hopefully that can be, you know, a bit of a turning point now for Wolves.
Look, Chelsea were in a bit of trouble going into this game, and then they changed the manager. You've got all that, you know, media scrum over Tuchel, and you think, oh goodness me, that's just what you need, a bit of a galvanise the team, and these players want to make an impact. And look, I thought Wolves negated a lot of their stars very, very well throughout the 90 minutes.
They did, and as Nuno said afterwards, there's no use worrying about that, really. And I mean, Wolves have got their own problems to solve, as he said, and that's completely the right way to approach it. I mean, with a new manager coming in, I don't think he can really be too sure on what team he'll play. And of course, it's not going to be wholesale changes because he's only had, I don't know, a day to work with them. But the key was making sure they did the basics right in defence, because they haven't been doing that for large spells over the last few months, but they did tonight, right from the first whistle to the last. They were on it, they were focused, they were committed. There were no costly lapses in concentration, so it's a very promising performance, really. Not enthralling, not entertaining, but Wolves, what they've arguably done best over the last few years is defend, and that's been the base and the platform on which to build. If they can get that going again and get that solid, hopefully this can be a better second half of the season now.
Yeah, and look, promising sides. The return of Daniel Podence, who started tonight, might be slightly surprising. We got the new lad on the bench who came on, Willian Jose, and he came on and made a really important block, actually, in the dying seconds that looked like it was going in. So he might not have scored at the top end of the pitch, but that's as good as a goal at the other end. And it's probably the strongest bench that we've seen for quite a while. I mean, name 9, doesn't matter. They look really, really strong, and that's for the first time. 3 strikers on the bench, a plethora of strikers.
Yeah, you just, as I say, you just hope they're turning the corner, because they've got this clean sheet. Johnny's going to be back in a few weeks, as Nuno said yesterday. Marcel should be a couple of weeks. Whether he comes back straight into the team is another question. But you know, having these players back, and hopefully if they can start defending like this on a consistent basis, hopefully they're onto something. I will say that I thought Nelson Semedo probably had his best game in a Wolves shirt.
Agreed.
I thought he was brilliant, actually, especially moving over to left wing back at half time. I mean, Nuno confirmed afterwards that was an injury to Ait-Nouri. It wasn't tactical. I know he was struggling a little bit against Hudson-Odoi. I didn't think he was being given the run around now, and yeah, he was a knock. So Semedo, going from right wing back, did a very good job against Chilwell, and then at left wing back looked pretty solid as well. And Bolly, you know, far more at the level that you'd expect Bolly to be at. Cody leading by example. A lot of positives to take from tonight. As I say, not inspiring, but gets the job done.
And I think the most important thing is that they do build from this, Joe. You know, they've got Crystal Palace now on Saturday. What they can't do is go there now after building on this and getting a point and produce an insipid display. They've got to go there. It's a winnable game, but if they play poorly, they'll get beat as well. They've got plenty of good players, as we've seen with Eze and Zaha. And yes, they've got a really good record against Crystal Palace recently, but at the same time, they're going to have to be on it. I think we'll see a few changes. We might even see a striker start. I think I didn't think Adama Traore quite got in the game, but Dence didn't quite get in the game. When you're looking at probably Neto and one of those two, and maybe we'll see the new lad up front. I think they need someone to lead that line, don't they, and score goals.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Traore was pretty absent, to be honest. I didn't think he really did a lot, and when he did get the ball, you know, he lost his footing on quite a few occasions, which was frustrating. I think Podence, you know, for a 5'5" lad leading the line, did all right, to be honest.
He just gets kicked. He's always on the floor. He always gets kicked.
Yeah, and he wins fells, and he kind of alleviates the pressure. I'd imagine at Palace it would probably be Podence and Neto with Jose up top. I think if you're picking based on form and based on performances tonight, then I think you'd want them two flanking Jose. But Yeah, I just think, it's not the most inspiring performance, it's not the most entertaining, but it was certainly needed. And a point here at Stamford Bridge is never to be sniffed at. And as we say, hopefully they can take that into Palace and show a bit of consistency now.
Chelsea 0, Wolves 0. For all the post-match reaction, make sure you log on to expressandstar.com. Cheers, Joe. Get yourself off, mate.
3.